Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has arrived in New Delhi for a 4-day visit. She arrived about an hour ago. India will sign an intergovernmental agreement on civil nuclear energy with Bangladesh during Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's visit.
We would be entering into an intergovernmental agreement on civil nuclear energy with Bangladesh. And like all our civil nuclear energy agreements, that covers all aspects of generation of civil nuclear energy, cooperation in putting up nuclear plants, issues relating to safety, security, all of that is covered under this.
Well, India is likely to sign more than 20 agreements with Bangladesh, including science, technology, cybersecurity, defense, development, partnership, trade, investment, shipping, and mass media. India is also likely to offer $500 million in terms of a line of credit to Bangladesh for defense exports. Construction of the Padma and Ganges barrages, fighting cross-border drugs and human trafficking are also likely to be discussed. Sheikh Hasina will also honor the Indian soldiers who lost their lives during the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War. Well, one thing that we do know that is clear is during this visit, Bangladesh's 4-day visit in India, one agreement that will not be signed is the Teesta water sharing agreement. The waters of the Teesta River is crucial for Bangladesh, especially during the months from December to March, when the water flow significantly drops to less than 1,000 cusecs. The Teesta River sharing agreement was signed back between the two countries in 1983, according to which India and Bangladesh were allocated about 39% and 36% of the water flow, respectively. But the deal did fall through when West Bengal's Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee, refused to approve the treaty, fearing that the loss of higher volume of water to the lower area would cause some problems in the northern parts of the state, especially during the dry months. Now, earlier during the visit of Narendra Modi in 2015, Prime Minister Modi expressed confidence of finding a fair solution to the long-pending Teesta water sharing issue. Well, to get the very latest on this story, let's now go to Bangladesh's Bureau Chief, Saad Hamadi, joining us live from Dhaka. Saad, good afternoon to you. A very crucial visit with Sheikh Hasina and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What do we expect to happen in the coming days?
Actually, this is going to be a landmark visit of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. It's the first time she is traveling in 7 years on a state trip to India. And the kind of agreements that are on the table right now, about $5 billion of credit line are expected. India is offering to Bangladesh in areas of infrastructure and development. Another $500 million of that $5 billion would be offered in defense procurement and cooperation. So that all goes to show a very significant visit of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, particularly at a time when Bangladesh is looking at a number of development projects in areas of infrastructure. But having said that, the Teesta water issue remains very contentious and has been pending for a long time. And it's understood that it's going to be lingering for a longer time, with the West Bengal government still not giving any nod to any access for the waters. And for both the West Bengal and Bangladesh, the Jamuna River, the downstream water is only declining in the measures of waters. It used to be previously about 550 cusecs of water in 2014, which has reduced further to about 315 cusecs in 2015. So now that goes to show that it's consistently declining, and it's taking an effect on Bangladesh's agriculture and irrigation areas. So that remains a very contentious area, and diplomats as well as strategic analysts say that given that Bangladesh and India has such a good relationship, particularly in the time of the Awami League government headed by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, not achieving the Teesta water issue or resolution in that area really makes no significance in these relationships. However, there are going to be a number of agreements, as you have also observed. The infrastructure developments in railway, connectivity, roads, the civil nuclear projects that are being discussed are going to be significant. But without Teesta, many analysts in Bangladesh say that not much is being reciprocated by India.
Saad, I also want to talk to you a little bit about the criticism that Aung San Suu Kyi has received in Myanmar. A lot of international criticism with the dealing of the Rohingya Muslims, many of them who are illegal immigrants from Bangladesh. Perhaps is that going to be addressed, do you think, to a certain extent during this meet, or is that going to be something that's tabled for later on?
Well, these discussions are ongoing, and for all the countries within the region in Asia and South Asia, these are consistent discussions that take place occasionally every time these issues arise, particularly the persecution, which has been very routine in Myanmar. It has been taking almost every 2 years, and the influx of this population coming to Bangladesh illegally, having an effect on economy as well as the humanitarian cost of it. Is taking a toll in Bangladesh. So naturally, there is also a security angle to this situation, which will be discussed, as has been shared by some analysts during Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's visit to India. But probably not much of a resolution will be drawn, given that without Myanmar's cooperation in this area, not much could be achieved in this area. So investigations are also going on in Myanmar, as this commission has been formed, headed by Kofi Annan, former UN Secretary General. So all of these will have to be looked in for a longer time. But the current development with India and Bangladesh, to point you out, would be India's growing involvement in Bangladesh's development projects. And development here has been a very subtle implication of having a foothold, a footprint in the region, where China is also trying to encircle India through the South Asian belt and through its One Belt and Road initiative. China has a very significant presence in Bangladesh. Only last year in October, it has offered Bangladesh a large line of credit, a very large line of credit, about $24 billion. Economically, it's very significant, given that Bangladesh requires about $100 billion for its development projects, as has been estimated previously by the World Bank and Bangladesh. So that shows that China has a big contribution in Bangladesh's development, and development is also implying its strategic measures within the country and having a footprint in the region. So that may not be observed or taken too well by India, particularly given that both are big economies. So for India and Bangladesh, this will be something to be seen very critically, and also the relationship that the three countries, India, China, and Bangladesh, develop on areas of development will be seen very closely by all the three countries. China has also said that any resistance from India or misinterpretation of China's development partnership with Bangladesh, China might fight back in those kind of a situation. So that is a very threatening.
All right, thank you there.
China has also pointed out that.
All right, there's Saad Hamadi giving us the very latest. Losing connection there right at the very end, but thank you for those updates. Saad reporting for us from Dhaka on the very latest. And that does it for this edition of WION News.